Hi, in this tutorial I will work with controllers. This is a fresh Laravel installation, Laravel fresh, and I have started the development server. Okay, and in order to run, if you run, you see that this is running well. Okay, now I am going to my editor. I have added that folder to my editor. We know that how web routes work. When you will install a fresh Laravel, then you will see that the home route is given in this way. This is welcome and this is the route, and that is calling the resources views welcome this file. Now I am going to rename this file. I am going to rename it and give it a name, suppose home, and here I write my own codes, that is home page, and this is home page content. Okay, I am creating another page here, that is about.blade.php. I am going to give another name, about page, and here about page content. Okay, in the web route, by default what is going to be happen, from this route straight the welcome.view is called, that is now it is home blade. Okay, this home view is called straight from the route, but in our real life project we will not do this way. What we do is we will create a controller. You can create controller into the app folder, then http folder, then controllers folder. By default the base controller is here, but I will not touch this controller. I will create my own controller. So here in this folder I can create straight the file, controller file, using new file. And another way is using the terminal. I am going to use new terminal. Here I can write a code to create controller, that is php artisan make controller, and then I can give it a name. Suppose this is a student controller. Okay, enter. When I will write this command and enter, then you see that a student controller comes here. So the code is php artisan, then you will have to use make controller, then give your name, that in which name you want to create controller. Okay, I am going inside the student controller. In this file you see that a class student controller creates, that extends our main controller class. In this controller we can write our own methods or functions. Public function, suppose I create a home function here, or you can create index function here, anything you can give the name. And what we did here, we straight return view here, but we will not do that. I am going to remove this code. We will have to link our controller, student controller class. This is the syntax in which way you have to create controller. And here our method name is home, right? In student controller we created home method. So here as a second parameter you have to give the function name or method name. So when someone clicks here, the student controller will load, and into student controller this function will be called. But if you write the student controller straight here, it will not work. You have to import it, use I will have to give the location of student controller, where it is into the app folder, app, then it is into the http folder, then there is a controllers folder, then student controller. Now it will work. So in student controller I did not return anything yet. If you run this, you will see a blank page. App http controller student controller does not exist. I am going to check it. into my route. Here I missed the R, spelling mistake, controllers, student controller. Okay. Now refresh this. You see that there is a blank page. This is a blank page because I did not write anything into my home function, but the function is running. Now I will return the view here. Return view here. Home view. Okay. Now refresh and you see that the home page comes. That means what I have written here, it is loaded here. Now what I can do is I am going to give this route a name. Suppose student dot home. Okay, and I am going to create another route that is about, and here we can give the method name about, and in the name route I am going to specify the name student.about. Go to here. Now I will have to create another function that is about and return the view about. Okay, then if I go here and I call the about route, you see that about page content, this comes, these two files. Okay, I am going to linking between these two pages. Suppose here I want to create some links, li, and this is home and another one is about. In home I will call it by the name student.home. This route, as I created name route, so we can call it from here. You know that this is home route, student.home, and so I am going to call it from here. Similarly, student.about, I am going to copy this into the about page also here. Now refresh, you will see that when I click home, it is taking me to the home page, and when I click about, it is going to the about page. So this linking works. Now I want to show you how the parameter works in controller. Here I can create a profile route, and I am going to use a parameter here. Suppose username. If I do this here, profile, student.profile. So this is the profile function that I will have to create here. Public function profile return view profile, and in the view I will have to create profile.blade.php. Here I am going to copy the about page content and here paste. This is our profile page. Okay, this is profile page content, but in this profile page content I will show it in another way. The user name is, here I will use my blade syntax, blade variable. Okay, how I will pass this variable? Suppose a person give the username here, then this variable is going to where? Into the profile function. That means student controller profile function. Here you will have to receive that parameter. That means in the profile function you will have to use a username parameter. Suppose I give the name is uname, and this value I will have to pass into the view page. That means I will have to create an array. Okay, in array we can pass the parameter. You can give another name here, so that is no problem. Here I give username, whatever you want you can use here. Then I will receive it here, and this will match this name. Okay, this variable will be same, but when I will pass it into the profile page, then you can use another variable. So or you can use the same variable, no problem. I am going to use another variable, and that is un, and I am going to pass this in this space, and here you can receive that. So I am going to check it, profile rfin. You see that the username is this. Okay, I can give it another name. That name is coming here. So this is very easy to pass the parameter. You can use multiple parameters here using is the similar way that we showed in our route class is. Then you will have to pass another parameter is. Okay, then in the profile I am going to show that is of this user is give the is, enter. You see that the username is this and is of this user is this. I change the parameter here, enter. These are changed into the view page. Okay, so in this way you can easily maintain everything using controller. There is another thing to discuss, that is in the view you see that what we are doing, we are just writing the blade files into the views. But if this happens, that we are creating folders. For example, in our resource views, these are state files, but if we create folders, suppose profile folder or student folder suppose, and in the student folder I put the profile.blade into the student folder. Okay, into the student folder. Now how I will call the view? First you will have to give the folder name dot then the file name. Okay, if there are many other folders, suppose into the student folder there is another folder, and into that folder that profile stays, then you will have to give that folder name here, student dot another folder dot profile. So in this way you see that this works. So in this way you can link views into the controller functions.